Do you have a girlfriend? No, he don't have a girlfriend, but he's not looking nothing yet. And I'm gonna declare, I'm gonna call him what God has for him. For Pastor Jake. Let's give it for Jake. Come on, Jake.
Go, Jake, go!
Can I translate?
Jake wants to speak Spanish.
No, I need that. You did this one yet?
Okay. Got it.
Go, Jake!
Let's give it up for Jake again.
Turn your life down low. Nah, leave that one on. Turn off this. Let's go. Let's go. That's fine. Whatever. Okay. How are you guys doing tonight? As you guys said, my name is Jake. I'm one of the youth leaders here, obviously. All right. So tonight, what I wanted to speak about is something obviously that touched my heart, touched my life, and has molded me into the man I am today. First question, this is not the title, Robert, but this is pretty much the theme. Who are you?
Title.
Honestly, who are you? I hate when people tell me that. They just look at me after I say something to them, but who are you to tell me that? So honestly, look at your neighbor tonight, tell them, who are you? Give them attitude, do whatever you gotta do.
Who are you?
But
You owe me chicken. I eat chicken.
the reason I asked that is because
You said the same
a
thing.
couple weeks ago, and a couple of you guys know this just because I talk a lot, whatever. A couple weeks ago, I had to do a presentation in one of my classes, and the presentation was on, actually no, excuse me, my first presentation was on PTSD. That doesn't matter about anything, but my teacher told me I had to change it, and I had 24 hours to come up with a new presentation because I had to present it in front of the class the next day. That sucks. So I just decided, okay, what theme can I do? What can I do that's going to be really easy? I can get this grade because it's a big part of our grade for the entire year. So I picked something simple, self-esteem. Our class is personal wellness, so self-esteem pretty much just allows us to become better people, eat better because we want to look better, whatever. Honestly, that's besides the point too. When I went into class and I gave my presentation on self-esteem, the part that I tell people about after I give the presentation was what I did at the beginning. And what I did at the beginning was I went up, I ripped up a couple pieces of paper and I passed them out all over to the classroom. And I passed them all out and, and I asked them, if I was to come up here and tell you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and the rating meant how you valued yourself, how you looked at yourself, and pretty much just how the world looks at you and how you think the world looks at you. And so after I said that, they began to write down the numbers. I collected them, and the entire time in my mind, I was just going to throw them out and be like, you guys are all 10s. I was just going to throw it out and be like 10s all around. And what I did was, when I collected them, I actually read through them. I didn't have the intention of doing that. When I read through them, this was in the middle of class, and Roseanne knows, I almost couldn't breathe because I was expecting to see high numbers like 8s, 9s, 10s, because, you know, these are college students, but what I saw shocked me. I saw 2s and 3s, and what sucked was these kids didn't know me, these students didn't know me, but I'm coming up here asking you to rate yourself, and you don't even know me, but you genuinely give me a real answer. And I felt so sorry for them that they saw themselves so worthless. And tonight, worthless, meaning having no real value, no use, no importance. And so when I saw those 3s, I still did the thing. I ripped it up and I threw it out. And then I started my presentation and went on like normal. Next day, I was still thinking about it. I was like, man, why 3s? Why 2s? Why so low? And I started reading the Bible, and man, what really touched me was what I found. And it wasn't necessarily a Bible verse, it was just, I just started reading on things, and I started realizing the reason I would rate myself a 10 is because I know the love of God.
Amen. Amen.
So when I saw that they were rating 3s, I was like, man, what are they missing? And I started realizing they found their value from other things. I found my value from God, which I know I'm going to rate myself a perfect 10 every single time. So I started thinking, okay, when I first asked them, what were the first thing that they started thinking about? And, okay, I put myself in their shoes. If someone was to ask me to rate myself to figure out what my value was, first thing on my mind is, okay, what do I drive? How much money do I make? My relationship with my girl or guy, whatever the case may be, is going pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself a 7 because, I just lost my job, but I still make pretty good money. Or I'm going to rate myself a 3 because my parents don't love me, because my girlfriend just left me, and because, I just lost my job and I have no money and I drive nothing. My friend dropped me off to school this morning. And so I started thinking, man, they find their value in things. And the thing about that is, when you begin to find your value or take your value from things, the way you value yourself changes constantly. Wow. And what I mean by that, money, for example. Unless you're on a salary, actually not even every single paycheck is going to be different. Sometimes you're only going to worry about 10 hours a week and make $50 on that check. Next week you might make more, who knows? But constantly your value is going to change. And if you put your value or figure out your value in things, the way you view yourself is going to change constantly. For example, as well, being in a relationship with a girl or a guy. 1 second, your value is going to be a 10. Why? You guys just met. Your relationship is outstanding. She's so sweet to you. He's sweet to you. He's kind to you. Says beautiful things. And your relationship is amazing. A couple months later, or a month later, weeks later, days, whatever the case may be, your value begins to go down. Why? Because you guys are arguing. Because she begins to look at you differently. You guys begin to argue over stupid things that don't even matter. And you guys break up. What happens to your value? It goes down. Because you put your value in things and you find your value in other people. And your cars and your houses. How many bedrooms do I have in my house? 2, 3, 4, 5? And your value depends on your values, your things. And when I started thinking that way, I started realizing that there are people, and you can look around in this room, at the empty chairs is all I want you to pay attention to. These empty chairs are full of people who are rating themselves lower than us because they don't know God. Because they don't have you to tell them that there is someone who's going to have a relationship with them and have their value at a constant level. That their value will always stay at a 10 because they know the love of God. Yes. And so, that brings me to my next point. To the wrong person, you will be worth nothing. To the right person, you'll be worth everything. And the way I want you to view how God views you, the way that I believe that God looks at me is this. Let's say I had in my hand a crisp $100 bill, hot off the press. I'm talking straight out the ATM, and it's so clean, this $100 bill. And I said, I'll give it to one of you. Just straight out, this is for you. Who would take it? No strings attached. This is for you.
Grab it.
No, I ain't got it on me. But you guys would all take it. You guys would all take it because it's $100. You know the value of it. It's $100. Now, same crisp $100 bill. Let's say I crumple it up in my hand, rip it a little bit, and then I extend it back out to you. Would you still take it? Of course. It's the same thing. It's a $100 bill. It's still a $100 bill. Now, let's go a little bit further. I take it outside. Same $100 bill, crumpled up, a little bit of rip. Take it outside. Let's say me and Josh start playing ball on it. I step on it. Someone slips on it. I ride my car over it. Now it's dirty. It got a little bit of oil on it. It's a lot more ripped, and it doesn't look as pleasing. It doesn't look as good. Would you still take it?
Yeah.
Would you still take it? Because it's still $100, and God looks at you the exact same way. No matter what you've been through, no matter how many bumps you've had, no matter how many things you've been through, no matter how many times you've been hurt, God is still looking at you like, you are valuable.
Amen.
I still love you. I still love you. And so when I started thinking this way, wow, God, why me? Why me? Do you not know the things I've done? Do you not see what I did yesterday? Yeah, but I still love you. And there's, Jake, do you see what I have for you tomorrow? Do you see the things I have for you next month? Jake, don't pay attention to the past. And the same thing for you, don't worry about your past and what you've been through. God is going to love you no matter what. He sees so much value in you. And it's so amazing to think this way. And it's so sad to know that these empty chairs, again, are full of people who don't know that value.
Come on. Yes. Oh. Man. That's good.
So, okay, so for the next 4 minutes, whatever the case might be, how long this may take, this is probably the most important thing I want you to pay attention to, just because this is for us. This is for us right here in this room. Whoever, just pay attention to this, and just imagine, put yourself in this scenario. Imagine where just you're dying. You have minutes to live. You are on your deathbed. And this is definitely something that spoke volumes into my life. And when I heard this, I kind of wanted to take advantage and take control over my life. But imagine you are on your deathbed. You're dying minutes away. And inside the room, you're inside the room by yourself. In the room walks in all of your ideas, all of your ambitions, all of your goals, all your dreams, and even the people that God said you were supposed to save. They all walk into your room, and they're surrounding you. They're looking at you. They're upset. They're looking at you with angry eyes. And they're saying to you, you were supposed to give me life. You were supposed to bring me to life. I was supposed to touch these people. This idea that you had, and it could only be given life through you, you're allowing to die today.
Come on. Whoa.
And when I started thinking about the things that, the great ideas that I've had, or the great dreams that God's given me, and things that have let me pass me by, what people have been affected because I didn't want to stand up because of how much I valued, and I didn't want to stand up and do something about it. So then I ask you this: what dreams, what ambitions, what goals do you have that you think are impossible to achieve? But one day on your deathbed, they're going to be looking at you like, why didn't you give me life? Why didn't you just try? Because God was behind you, ready to put you in that place. Yes. And it's just so sad to see that again. Who are you? Who are you to decide that you're not going to try? At least try and fulfill your dreams and your goals. Because there are people who are depending on me. There are people depending on you. Because you guys know the love of God. And there are those that don't. And they're just waiting for one of us to step up. To step up and do something about it. To go out and reach and show them that God loves me and God loves you too. And here's why.
Come on, Jake. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
What was it, like last week? And this is like a really small thing, but I saw it and I was like, oh, true? Like, you ever just been in a situation where someone's talking, whatever, they're talking, whatever, and then, you know, you guys are just thinking, whatever, and someone says an idea, and in your mind you're like, oh, heck no. That was my idea. I was gonna say that, but, you know, I just didn't. Bro, that happened to me. I had an idea, I said it out loud, and I said I would do it. Person next to me gets upset. Why didn't you step up and say something? I think that God looks at us, gives us an idea, we choose not to follow it, He'll take it out and give it to someone else who's willing to step up and do something about it. Don't get mad at me, or don't let someone get mad at you, because you're going to actually do something with the idea that God planted in you. And you know, that was just something awesome that just happened a little bit ago. But again, I say, who are you? Who are you? God loves us so much. In Jeremiah 29, verse 11, it says this. And I love the way it says it. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. The reason why I love this, because God says, I know the plans I have for you. Yes. A lot of times we're looking around like, oh no, I know what God has for me. I'm gonna do what I think